Okay, so why learn bar chords? Bar chords are an integral or very important leap from becoming a beginner guitar player to an intermediate and beyond. You may be asking Mr. Worth or AKA Mr. Awesome, why do we need to use bar chords when we can simply use a capo? And capos are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I love capos. They've done so many things for us. Or can't go wrong with this one. But the problem with a capo is that if you want to be a little bit more percussive with your playing, some more rhythmic, you can't control the open strings. For example, I'm going to do a rhythm with a bar chord. And notice that I'm controlling the length of the notes by lifting my fingers just a little bit to cut them short. Okay, now if I was to do that with a bar chord, all these open strings will remain open and I can't make it percussive. Also, the other thing is, if you're playing with a capo, what happens if you need to go lower? So that's what bar chords are used for, and they can also help us write music very well, because bar chord will present interesting musical ideas that we can't get with a capo. So let's go ahead and we're going to start learning your first bar chord, which is one of the most common ones, B minor. Okay, the secret with bar chords is that any of the open position chords, meaning an open string, you can change into a bar chord and move up the neck. For example, here's the one that we'll be dealing with today. Here's an A minor. Now I can move that up to here. B minor. I can move it to D minor. Okay. Here's E major. I can move that up to G, A. Okay. I can even use chords that are a little more complicated, like a C. All right, and I can move that up the neck. All right, so let's start with your first one. Now, so what we're going to do is follow me along here, like literally do this as I'm working with you. Do an A minor. Okay, and my right hand's not important right now, but hello. Do an A minor, and what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to play the same chord, but use different fingers. You're going to use finger 2 here on the C, finger 3, 2nd fret, 4th string, and then your pinky you're going to use to play the note A. So essentially you've got the same chord, and I'm starting from my 5th string right there. Okay, now you can tell that chord doesn't sound any different from this one. It's just different fingers. Now, bar chords, what we're going to do is we're going to place our first finger behind the 5th string, and essentially our first finger is going to act like a capo. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole shape and we're going to slide it up 1 fret. That is an A sharp minor. Okay, and where we're getting to today for the song that we're going to learn is B minor. Now we call this B minor because this note right here, that's a B, and this is a minor shape. Okay, B minor is a really, really, really common chord. It is in all sorts of things. Let me give you a couple examples. Okay, here's another example. This is Hey There, Delilah. I'll do it slowly first. I'm sorry. A little faster. Okay, so there's lots of uses for B minor. we're going to be using that and one more chord as your first bar chords in another upcoming song. Now, just to swing around here. Oh, look, there's all my guitars. When you're playing a B minor chord, thumb position is pretty important, or any bar chord. And what I find what works best for me is when we do fingering exercises, our finger slides up the neck with us, and we should have a balance on the back of the neck around here. With bar chords, I go a little bit lower. I go right around here. That's probably 1/3 of the way up the neck. And I find that gives me the pressure that I need to play that B minor chord like that. Quite often the most difficult part is getting that top string, the pressure that you need. But trust me, bar chords were very difficult for me. They took at least a week to get a good sound of it. But here's how you can check to see if you're doing it correctly. Go through each string. And if you're getting that sound, readjust your hand, readjust your thumb until you get a clear sound. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's move on to F sharp. Okay, so that was how you do B minor. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on a bar chord that starts on the low E string. Okay, the root of the chord is on the low E string. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with an E major, as you all know. Okay, and what we're going to do is the same thing we did with A minor. We're going to refinger that chord with fingers 2, 3, and our pinky on 2nd fret, 4th string. And then what we're going to do, just like before, we're going to put our first finger on the nut of the guitar, and that's our shape that we're going to slide up. It is a major shape because of this E major as opposed to E minor. So this is a major bar chord shape with the root on the low E string. So here's E, here's F, and the chord that we want to do is F sharp major, 2nd fret. Okay? Now, a great way to practice where we're going next is to simply take the same shape, okay, and go back and forth between an F sharp major to 1 string lower, a B minor. Okay, you can do half note strums. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you start to get better, you can do quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do more challenging things. Now, in my experience as a guitar player, the longer your hand holds a shape, the quicker that you can learn a chord. So I discovered this little thing a little while ago, and I think it's from a Beatles song, We Can Work It Out. And what it does is this. I'm going to just shift myself over. Okay, so it's in this little section of the song is in 3/4 time, and it does this. Okay, so root on the A string, and then I'm using 3 fingers to play it. So it looks like this. I'm going to take my first finger off, so I'm now playing an open A. But notice that my shape is still the same. I haven't moved that. Then I'm going to go down to 3rd fret on the low E string, and then 2nd fret. Okay, yeah. So once again, the longer you keep your hand in the shape, the easier your fingers will remember it. Every time you go to the neck of the guitar, it'll just grip nicely. Okay, so practice your F sharp and move that to B minor, as we'll be using that in a song that we're going to learn.